Hi, welcome once again to my channel. If you are new on this channel, remember to subscribe, like and share. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for stopping by once again. Remember to share this video with friends and family. Welcome. Sit back and enjoy the view. Today we are continuing with the discussion we started last week. Last week we were able to identify a few things that stops us from parenting in a smooth and harmonious manner. We are going to be looking at healthy tips on making sure that relationship between us and our children remain healthy. Understanding personality is the antidote to all parental baggages. The key issue we talked about was parental baggage. Parental baggage, as a reminder, is those things that we inherited from our parents and we are likely to make the same mistakes with our children. The second thing that we also talk about in parental baggages was the fact that we see some issues in our lives, things in our behavior pattern that we don't like, and then we try to stamp it out with everything in us. We force the children to stop that behavior. So today we are going to be looking at how to avoid those things. I will start with the first one, parental baggages. The idea of what worked for me must necessarily work for my children. We also identify that in every home there are different people. The family, every ideal family, surely and always consists of different people. We all have different way of behaving, different way of perceiving ideas, different way of processing information, different motivations, and all of that. The father is different, the mother is different, and children are usually unique and different with their own God-given personality. So does this mean that in the family there cannot be harmony? No, far from it. There would always be harmony when we understand and respect each other's differences. For instance, a D parent parenting a D parent. Remember, D people like control. D people are dominant. D people are the type of people that want to have choices. They don't like to be gagged. They are not people that you will tell to sit in a place and they sit in the same place for a long time. They are people that are always on the go. They are always on the move. So peradventure, a D and a D in the same house. Remember that child, even as a child, has the same personality as you. So learning to speak correctly to that child will help you to avoid all forms of conflicts. For example, when I tell a D person, you must do that thing, no matter what it is, because I have given a command, he's going to react. Remember, they don't like to be under anybody's control. But peradventure, I know that, oh, my child is a D, I am also a D. There will be time when the both of you will tussle for power. But if as a parent you understand personality, you just tell that child, you give the child choice. For example, you just say to the child, whatever you do today, make sure that at 3 o'clock, my dinner is on the table. You know, you have used the right word. Whatever you do, make sure that, you know, without necessarily saying that you must do it at 3 o'clock. It is when you give instructions and then the instruction is looking like a command tone, that person's personality will react to your own. And remember, you are also like that. So we need to learn to speak correctly to all our children. Another good example that I always see is a parent, for example, who is a typical S personality. Some mothers are S, they are laid back, they love status quo, they like to help you from behind, to give support and make sure everything is going in harmony. And then your daughter is a I person. I people are extroverted people. They are people person. They are the kind of people that take charge anywhere they are. They love to be the center of attraction. They are good speakers. They talk and they are always outgoing. And then you have this I child while you are an S person that is shy, that is reserved. And then suddenly, because of who you are, you now think that your child must also be S. I've seen mothers always complaining about their child. You talk too much. Can't you be quiet? Keep quiet. What are you going to do there? You know, you keep at every time. That mother is trying, unconsciously trying to make a photocopy of herself out of that child. And this can cause great disharmony. We counsel families that even after the child is married to our own husband, there's still a feud that is unsolved between mother and child, simply because they didn't understand each other's personality. That mother may just be struggling all her life to remold what God has made, to remold that girl to be like her. Remember, we are different, but we are not better than each other. You can't remold what God has made. So, learning to understand our children is key. We also said that we cannot communicate love to a child we do not understand. From the two examples we've given, there is no way you can communicate love to a child you keep correcting all the time, for example. For example, let's say the mother is a laid-back, introverted S person. And then here is the daughter that wants to be everywhere. And then each time you just see her, she's just operating in her God-given personality. And then you keep saying, sit down there. What's wrong with this child? What's wrong with her? Can't she just sit down? She's too... How you talk too much. Don't you think? Stay behind and think. Have some quiet time. Meanwhile, this child was not brought. She doesn't want any quiet time. She just wants to be herself. She just wants to be fine. Our method of processing things is different from yours. Your own method of processing is internally, while our own method of processing is external. She expresses herself. She talks. And then you are forcing her to be like you. Understanding personality is what can save us from all these kind of parental baggages. Remember, when you communicate correction all the time, when you correct a child all the time, when you are constantly telling the child you are not doing it right, what you are communicating to that child is that you are not good enough. And when you communicate to the child that he or she is not good enough, that child is not going to feel love. Our responsibility, like I said at the beginning of the video, is to nurture our children in a healthy way so that their self-esteem is intact and their self-confidence is high. By the time you bring down your child constantly and all the time, you decrease their self-esteem. You damage their self-esteem. You damage their self-confidence, because in the home front, the child is always having information of, I am not good enough. So we have to be careful. What are we saying to our children? How are we helping their self-esteem? How are we nurturing them to make sure that they grow and blossom? in how God created them to be. So, in conclusion, I want to ask that we all need to understand ourselves in clear, unambiguous way. If you have never taken your personality assessment, right now, click on the assessment page. Take a 15-minute assessment. You would not regret it. And peradventure, you want me to send you a code because it's an online test that you take. Just private chat me and I'll be glad to help you. Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until I come your way another time, have a very good day. Bye. See you there.